Hey everyone, welcome back to the B-Movie Bunker. Today we're looking at 2015's He Never Died, brought to us by Jason Krawczyk. This is the story of Jack. Jack is a bit of a loner, doesn't like to form bonds with people, likes to spend most of his time napping and watching TV and occasionally going to the same diner all the time and ordering the same thing. However, this all changes when Jack finds out he has a daughter. So now the man who likes no bonds has one kind of thrust upon him as much as he tries to avoid it. And then the world comes knocking and causes him to have to revisit his rather violent past. First thing I recommend is do not watch the trailer for this film. Just go in and see it. Do not watch the trailer. It spoils a big, part of the film. It's basically as if Empire Strikes Back trailer ended with the fact that, hey, Luke, I'm your father. It's that kind of giveaway. Not like it's, I'm not saying this is as grand as Empire Strikes Back, but I think it's still a really good movie. It's dark, it's gritty, it tells a good story. A story I've heard before, but they do a little bit different twist on the story, and I think they do a good job of it. As far as Henry Rollins in this one, I think he does a really good job in this one. The character of Jack is rather emotionless, and it's not because he's incapable of emotion. I think it's because he's just so very, very tired, and he's so very, very done. He just wants to be done, and he wants to be left alone, and just doesn't want to have to deal with anything ever again. He's done. And I think he does a very good job showing that. Now, one could argue that not showing emotion is a sign of a poor actor, but I think it's different in that you have emotionless acting that is, wooden and stiff, but you have someone acting as someone who lacks that kind of emotion, and I think there's a difference between that. I think Rollins is actually acting as opposed to not acting. Does that make sense? It does in my head, so that's all I'm going to go with. I mean, on a scale of 1 to 10, this one's like, it's like when someone gives you a drink, and I'm not saying like, here's a beer. If someone says, here, drink this, and you're like, well, what is it? Like, just drink it, just have it. So, you're not entirely sure what to expect. I mean, you trust this person at least a little bit, so, they're not giving you poison, but you take a sip, you're like, oh, it's not bad. And then you drink it down, and then they tell you what's in it, and you're like, oh, wow, I was not expecting that. That's a surprise. I enjoyed it more than I thought I would, based on what you told me was in it. And that's kind of what this film is. It's knowing what I knew going in, I was kind of a little leery, and I'm not going to say what I know. And Rollins, I don't have a lot of experience with him as a lead character. He's been in side roles, and I think he does fine in that, and I love his spoken word, but seeing him leading a film, this was, really not something you see very often. I'm trying to think of another movie I've seen him where he's a lead. But I think it's just a fun little film. I think it's definitely worth checking out. So, till next time, stay safe out there in the wasteland, folks.